I'm here with Greg Paxton, and you have been superintendent at Beaverton Rural Schools for 2 years now, but you were involved as assistant principal and principal for how many years?
Stephanie, I've been in Beaverton Rural Schools for the past 13 years, really in the capacity of assistant high school principal, middle school principal, high school principal, and eventually the past 2 years as the superintendent of Beaverton Rural Schools.
So you've been there for a little bit of time, huh?
A little bit of time. Basically, I've been through different positions in the district, getting to know kids, our staff, and the community, and really it's been a great 13 years for me at Beaverton Rural Schools.
Oh, I'm sure. Now, what changes have you seen over the last 2 years?
I think one of the changes that we've made in the last 2 years, and when I say we, I'm talking about everybody in our district, which is our school board, our administration, staff, community, and students, is that one of the things that when I was brought on board 2 years ago was to look at the financial situation of Beaverton Rural Schools. And as I mentioned earlier in the day to a group, is that we came in with about a 1% fund equity, and that's our operating budget, and the state recommends around a 10 to 15% operating budget. And again, over the past 2 years, we've made some changes in our revenue and expenses, and we're currently at about a 10% fund equity, which we met our goal. And that had to do with some privatization,
right?
What most schools are going through at this point in the state of Michigan with our food service and our custodial services. And those are unfortunate things that happen, but again, we looked at our finances and made sure that we were going to have some revenue for kids.
Right. And I know that along with finances, some of the other areas that you generally tend to examine, I know we've talked about services before, services to the kids, safety, and then climate overall, climate of the school district and the community as a whole. So what kind of things are going on in those 3 areas?
Well, again, you just mentioned it. I think I open up every administrative meeting that we have, is that we have 4 main areas that I believe in Beaverton Rural Schools: is academics, how well are we doing academically, safety for our kids, for our staff, what is our financial situation, and then again, how is our environment and the climate, how are people feeling about Beaverton Rural Schools. And I did mention about our finances, and I think that we're improving that situation by always analyzing the situation, looking at enrollment, what is the state providing for our student foundation. And I think we've come a long ways as far as finances. Next, I believe it would be safety, is that we pick kids up at 6:45 in the morning, and as well as other people in the educational field, is that we have a Sparks program after school, and we're sending kids home at 5:30 at night. So our kids are with us 10 to 12 hours a day, and are we getting them to school safe? Once they're at our school, are we providing that security that they can get a great education, they're fed, and that they feel secure, and it's the best possible situation?
Sure.
We always analyze our academics. I think every year we look at the data that the state sends us through our MEEP scores, our MME scores, and our administration and staff do a good job through their school improvement teams looking at this data and looking to see what we need to improve on and what we're doing well. And so I think an academic portion it's always ever going on our part.
Sure.
Yeah. Then last thing is, I think even working with you in the paper and getting information out to our community and our staff to celebrate our successes that we have at Beaverton Rural Schools. And over the past year, with a new governor and new legislation, it seems like education is getting hit on a lot of different types of House bills and Senate bills, and so we've been doing a good job with our board and our staff and administration to celebrate those successes and to keep a good climate in Beaverton Schools.
Very good. Yes, it's a job in and of itself to just keep up with the legislation that's been going on. So.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct.
I think one of the strengths that I've noticed at Beaverton Schools is definitely the partnership with the RESD, Career Technical Education Center, and the programs with Mid-Michigan Community College for those kids that would like to do some vocational training, maybe aren't on the college prep track. You guys do a really nice job there. Now, can you tell us kind of what programs are offered for the kids?
Career and vocational classes that we're having provided for us by the RSD is really in two locations. First of all, we do send kids to mid for like welding and law enforcement, but we do have several programs that are housed right at Beaverton High School or on campus, and two of them are our hospitality class, which is, I would call it maybe the old home ec or foods courses, and those are students from Beaverton, Coleman, and Gladwin that attend those. And also we have a medical occupations class that prepares kids for the medical field. And again, those students are from Coleman, Gladwin, and Beaverton. And we do have building trades that we send kids in Gladwin, and auto trade that we send kids to Gladwin. So those are some of the vocational programs through their CTE program.
Very good. Now, what would you say is one of Beaverton's greatest strengths?
Well, I think our greatest strength are our people, and I'm going to divide that up into the community. I'm going to divide that up to parents and students, and finally by our staff. As an administrator for the past 13 years, I've had many people that have traveled through our schools, either educationally or as guests or providing assemblies. Have always left saying how wonderful our students and staff are, and so I think, again, you know, that resource of people, the community supporting us, and the staff working to provide the best education for our kids is really outstanding. So again, to sum it up, I think it's the people that I'm working with in all the different aspects of Beaverton.
Sure, absolutely, and it's definitely a community that that has focused on its school and education, and actually the community now has committees designed to look at the former education or elementary school building, on the corner of Tonkin and M18. Now, how involved are you guys with that committee?
Well, that two-story building was one of our first major schools in Beaverton. It had a birthday a couple months ago, or several months ago.
75 years, am I right? Yeah.
75 years, and we're looking to preserve that building and to hopefully make it into a family center or community center for our community. It's currently being used by our primary school, and we also use our gymnasium with youth groups. But over the past, I'd say year, we've had interest of about 30 to 40 community members that would like to see that building being used full-time. As I mentioned last week to a group, that the library would be interested in looking in coming into that building and being a major tenant.
Sure.
So the school is involved, I think, through resources, providing information, and then also I, as a superintendent, and at least 4 of our board members have attending the committee meetings to answer questions, again, to provide resources, and to really be a part of this project, because we're so excited about it.
It's definitely something to watch in the future. I think it would be a great space, and hopefully we'll see some really good use being made out of it.
I think so. Again, it's, you know, I think it can offer so many different activities for kids. And you know, Midland's 20 miles away, and Gladwin's got their the community center or sports arena, and they provide things for kids. So we're looking at the same thing at Beaverton.
Very nice. Well, I want to thank you for coming in, and definitely wish you many, many blessings and prosperity in 2012.
Stephanie, thanks, and thank you for the opportunity to share a little bit about